Have you ever felt like there is a version of you that is stuck inside, that is so confident and capable of things that are even beyond your wildest dreams, and you just can't seem to access that version, or you can't seem to tap into that confidence? You are not alone. This is something that I have experienced for the majority of my adulthood, and possibly even before that as well. I am just about to turn 41, and I was well into my 30s before I started to figure out how I could unlock that confidence and how I could really tap into that version of me. Your journey might not be exactly the same as mine, but whenever I reflect back, some of the things that I experienced, I was in the working world, I was in the corporate world, I spent a lot of my time working for other people. I also worked for myself during that time as well. And what I actually experienced was this feeling of whenever I was working for other people, that I just wasn't being seen. I knew that I had the capability. I knew that I was better than what I was doing in terms of my job, but yet I was always being overlooked for promotions. Whenever I actually stepped into the role of working for myself, however, that didn't solve the issue. All I then started to experience was imposter syndrome around other business owners and other startup owners. I just never felt enough. There was always that something within me that I almost felt like other people weren't seeing me. And the reality is that it was because I wasn't seeing myself. I wasn't able to access that confidence. So it was very much a case of fake it until you make it. And it's really not a comfortable place to be whenever we're having to do that. In relationships as well, romantic relationships, I had something similar. I would have got into relationships, and I had a pattern of this through my whole life, where I would have got into relationships with people who maybe weren't as good as what I could have accessed, or there was something maybe where there was a lot of red flags, but I would have overlooked them and settled. And what happened was I was quickly outgrowing those relationships and then moving on. So I was in this perpetual cycle of leaving people, regardless of how long I had been with them, whether it was a few dates, a few months, a few years. So I had this repetitive cycle going on. And actually, what I learned was that I needed to solve these issues in order for me to really flourish and excel in life the way that I wanted to. My divorce and cancer diagnosis back in 2018 was really the pivotal stage for me when it comes to actually figuring out that things needed to change. I can remember I was having a spiritual awakening. I was going through a dark night of the soul, and I really felt disconnected from my career. I was obviously alone. I had left my husband. I was going through cancer. I had surgery. I was going through cancer treatment. It was a stage in my life when everything seemed to really be changing for me, and I felt like the life that I was living hadn't been satisfying for me at all. I felt like I was capable of so much more, and I didn't really know how to access that. And I was actually talking to my chimney breast in floods of tears just at my wall in the living room. And I just knew that something had to change, and that was the real pivotal stage for me, because I realized that it's not everybody else. The world isn't against me here. I'm the common denominator in all of this. I'm the one that really needs to change. I need to make a difference here. And that was the time when I decided, okay, let's understand this and start becoming a version of me that I love. That's the bit that had always been missing. I'd always been focused so much on becoming the version that everybody else would love, rather than just thinking, okay, well, who will I love? Who do I need to be in order to accept myself? To hell with everybody else. What is going to make me feel most confident? What is going to make me feel more empowered? And that's really where my journey began. There's some really big aha moments that I had, and I want to share those with you. One of them was that if I'm not accepting myself and seeing my true value, I'm not going to get that from other people. So if you're experiencing something similar, then there probably is something that you need to do internally, some of that inner work that will really help you unlock that and make you feel empowered in order for you to start to be seen as your true version by the world around you as well. The next big aha moment that I had was that I am the creator of my universe. It's only me that has the power to change it, and the same goes for you as well. Whenever we are living a life that we don't want to live, or we're receiving things into our reality that we don't want to receive, we can say no, we can reject things, we can let things go. And actually, it's really important that we do that, because when we start to do that, it lets the universe know that that's not acceptable to us anymore, and it will bring different things forward. Number 3 is, I don't need to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. All I need to be doing, and the same goes for you, is striving to be the best version of you that you can be at that particular moment. And that is just a journey of evolution. That doesn't mean that you have to wake up a size 6 or a size 8 tomorrow morning. That doesn't need to mean that you transform your mental health overnight. It's going to be small steps to change. It's going to be shifts that are really manageable for you. All that it is important to realize is that this is a lifelong journey. This is something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, and it is something that we need to be taking baby steps with. So focus on the small changes that you can make that will make a difference in your life now, and you are on to a winner. The next thing is that all of those times that I was rejected or I didn't feel good enough was an opportunity for me to learn and to reflect inwards and figure out something about myself. So whenever you experience times like that, it's really important to be aware that actually it is teaching you something. It is not a punishment. It is an opportunity for you to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to give my attention to inwards at the moment? It's like the salt that gets into the paper cut that you didn't even know that you had. Think of it like that. It is a gift from the universe helping you figure out what it is that you need to be focusing on with your healing journey right now. Next up is realizing that whenever I feel a need to maintain a certain image, whether that is buying a certain car or posting a certain thing online, it really takes away from my authenticity if I'm doing it in order to please other people. Whenever we start to analyze our motivations behind the things that we're doing, it really makes it more easy for us to tap into our authenticity and to think, okay, well, actually, I'm posting that for the wrong reasons. It doesn't matter what they think. Or I'm picking this car because of the wrong reasons. It doesn't matter what they think. All of these different things help you get closer to who you are authentically. If you're looking to buy the big flash house because actually you just love it, your heart's calling you to it, it's going to get you out into the countryside where you're going to be happy and can replenish your energy, then fine. If you're buying the big house because you think the photos will look amazing on Instagram and everybody will be so jealous of you, then that's probably not going to be the best use of tapping into your authenticity and that inner confidence. And finally, trusting my own judgment and trusting my own intuition. Whenever we start to ignore those feelings that come up with inside of us, regardless of what anybody else says, and that could be about leaving a relationship where you're feeling, oh no, this intuition is just telling me to leave, but everybody else says to stay, or whether you have this idea in your head of starting this new business or community, and people are saying, no, it's a stupid idea, but you just feel like, no, it's definitely the right one. Trust in yourself. Nobody is on this path other than you. This is your journey. This is your life. You are in charge of your decisions, and it may not be in this person's path. It may not be in their destiny to do the things that you're wanting to do. So it is really important to tap into that feeling and trust it. Learn to trust it, because it will always keep you on the right path. I have 5 tips for you that you can really start to implement today that will help you actually tap into that inner confidence and will help you unleash this super powerful version of you that is locked inside. And remember, this is a journey. This isn't something that's necessarily going to just happen overnight. Focus on the small steps. This isn't a sprint. It is a marathon. So focus on just taking small steps. We're not looking for overnight transformation. Depending on obviously what age you are and what age you live on to, you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. So it needs to be manageable. What can you change now? What is the small changes that you can make? It's not about overnight transformation. Start with some sort of a daily practice that is going to really help you feed into yourself and validate yourself. We have to learn to validate ourselves, and that does sometimes take a lot of getting used to. So go easy on yourself with this one. It could be that you start with an affirmation. Speak an affirmation out loud when you're stood in the mirror. Say it into your head while you're cooking. Repeat it 10 times a day. Repeat it 50 times a day. Just have something that you do that is going to help you validate yourself. Affirmations are really powerful because whenever you start to repeat that same thing over and over and over again, your mind starts to believe it. So we have to change the dialogue that's going on in our head. Instead of being negative and self-defeating, flip the script and bring something positive in and just put it on repeat. That's the easiest way to do it. Put it on repeat and just keep telling yourself the same thing every day, and your mind will start to believe it. Trust me. Step out of your comfort zone. That doesn't mean that you need to go into a skydive. It just means that you need to do something that is going to push you out of your comfort zone just that little bit, because whenever you do that, your comfort zone expands. And actually, regardless of what area of your life you've done that, your confidence grows across all areas. So there's benefit to all areas of your life whenever you put yourself in situations that are a little bit uncomfortable for you. And actually, they will become your new normal. They will become your new comfort zone. Use visualization as a tool. No matter where you want to be in life or who you want to be, whenever you start to visualize it in your head and you feel the emotions that are attached to that, that again starts to become your normal. It's the same thing with affirmations. We're telling ourselves that that's where we're getting to. We're telling ourselves that that's the direction that we're going. So it's a really clever way to actually bring that reality to you. Last but not least, don't shy away from those tough situations in life or those tough emotions, because they're the signposts to the things that you really need to work on. Whenever you're feeling the discomfort of fear or anxiety or any of those sorts of things, that is telling you, okay, there's something here that needs to be addressed, because we want to get to a stage where we're feeling neutral, where we're not feeling those drastic changes in our emotions, or we're not maybe feeling those sensations where we're super anxious or we're super fearful about something or super worried. So tapping into those sensations, leaning into the difficult situations in life, that is where the change happens. So try to embrace them, and the more that you embrace those, the more that you welcome some of the positive stuff as well. You are already enough. This journey is about peeling back the layers on who you are today in order to figure out who it is that you should have been all this time. So we're peeling back the conditioning, we're peeling back those other layers in order to get to your most authentic self, but you are already enough exactly where you are. What I would encourage you to do as a takeaway is to think of one thing that you can actually take away from this video, from this recording, and implement today. What is the one thing that you can take away and implement today that is going to make a change or help you bring change into your life and help you actually tap into that most empowered version of you? If you feel like you would like a little bit more support from me, check out my new program, which is Rise and Thrive. And it is a 6-week program that is designed to really help awaken you to your confidence and help you tap into that empowered version of yourself. So check that out via my website. I will pin the details below as well. And it has been an absolute pleasure. Follow me on Instagram for short form content and on TikTok as well. I'm usually found on TikTok. I really encourage you on your journey. I hope that you were able to flourish in the way that you really deserve to.